The first Gulf War was the war in which the Patriot system was tested in combat for the first time. At first glance, it appears successful, intercepting Iraqi Scud missiles in 41 out of 42 launches, but its effectiveness would later become highly disputed, and it would even lead to the deadliest single day for American troops since the Vietnam War. Patriot missiles were originally designed to shoot Soviet-Russian aircraft. Despite this being their primary purpose, they were modified in the early 1990s to also intercept ballistic missiles. Their task was relatively simple, using mathematical parameters like the ballistic missile's speed and acceleration. The system calculated where the missile would be at a given time and intercepted in the air. Ballistic missiles at the time had no in-flight guidance system anyway. The missile would rise at a certain angle, accelerate, then begin to fall, and explode wherever it landed. Successful interception tests at Byzance earned it a place in the 1991 Gulf War. But its opponent, the Scud missile, was an unstable missile, meaning it could unintentionally lose direction during flight. Even when hit, it would often only suffer structural damage or lose its fuel tank. Yet, there were scenarios where, even after losing its fuel tank, the warhead continued its flight. Meanwhile, when a Patriot intercepted its target, the shrapnel scattered by the resulting explosion would rain down over cities, causing injuries. This revealed that the Patriot's shrapnel effect was insufficient to neutralize Scud missiles, while at the same time causing shrapnels to fall over cities. What was needed was a weapon that would rain shrapnel down on its target, but without that shrapnel reaching the civilians and Allied forces below. In other words, a weapon that was simultaneously more lethal and less collateral was needed. After the Gulf War, new research began. The goal of this research was to increase the Patriot missile's effectiveness while preserving its weight, because increasing weight would mean a new rocket engine and more fuel, which was not ideal. Scientists needed to increase explosive payload without increasing weight. By the time of the Second Gulf War, a new type of material had been discovered. Due to properties like high mechanical strength, it could also be used as a structural component. Because of its inert nature, it posed no risk during transport or installation. However, under high-speed impact and explosive effects, it released a large amount of energy itself, and depending on its microstructural grain size, broke apart into millions of small fragments, turning the blast radius into a hail of shrapnel. In other words, while the explosive charge makes up about 30% of a conventional munition, in the scenario where this material is used as the warhead casing, it released additional 40 to 70% of energy. And even better, in laboratory studies using high-speed cameras, scientists observed that the shrapnel fragments burned away and disappeared a certain time after the impact. This was good news for those on the ground, but bad news for the missiles. Of course, the details of the material are classified and its patent has already been acquired by the US military. We don't have concrete data on its field use, but this philosophy didn't remain theoretical. The GMLRS alternative warhead, developed in 2018 under the US Army's Precision Fires Rocket and Missile Systems program, claims to maximize impact on target while leaving no unexploded ordnance behind. This journey, which began 40 years ago, has today resulted in the discovery of a material that is both more lethal and less collateral. The material's future looks bright. While there are many potential applications in the military domain, such as armor-piercing munitions and reactive armor, its use is also possible in civilian fields, like solid rocket propellant and firework applications.